Finding deals, raising capital, and having professionals that are there to help you are all things that any real estate investor and realpreneur needs to do to be able to be successful. But how can you achieve all that if no one knows who you are? In today's episode, we're going to find out how to make sure to get you out of obscurity and get you known by the right people. I'm Nikolai Ray, and this is Realpreneur Principles. Every episode, I take a few minutes to talk about practical and experience-based advice in order to help you become a better real estate investor and a better real estate entrepreneur. Now, in this episode, I want to talk about fighting through obscurity. Now, what does that mean? Ultimately, if you want to be a successful real estate entrepreneur or real estate investor, you're going to have to be known in the investment community or in the real estate community. Because if you want to raise capital, you have to be known by passive investors, LPs, KPs, and if you want to find deals, you have to be known by wholesalers, bird dogs, and brokers, and also various other actors in the market. So it's important that you think about your marketing. Now, do you believe that at the moment, as a real estate entrepreneur, you're doing everything you can and should to get your name out there and to get out of obscurity? I'm convinced you're not. And you know why? Because I'm not, and I'm doing a lot of stuff. So let's make sure we take a couple minutes today to think about what needs to be done to get out of obscurity. First and foremost, you have to have a plan. You need to have a marketing and branding plan for yourself and or for your real estate company. It has to be clear and concise and has to communicate exactly what is it that you bring to the table as either the CEO of your real estate company, as a broker if that's what you do, or as an investor. Now, your capacity to communicate and distribute that plan is ultimately what's going to bring you the opportunities needed in order to achieve your goals, whether you be an active investor, a passive investor, a broker, a banker, whatever it is that you do in real estate investing, you have to get out there. Now, the second thing about getting out there is don't be spammy. I see so many people make this mistake of being super spammy and, going and hijacking other people's posts on social media and, sending tons and tons of emails. If you're going to do your marketing and branding yourself to get yourself out there to be a better real estate investor or entrepreneur, make sure that you learn the basics of how to do permission-based marketing and how not to spam people. There's a whole bunch of content out there. You can find it on the internet. Use Google. Google is definitely your friend. Now, another thing that's important is to not be selfish. It's important that as you get out there and as you put yourself out there, you have to understand that you don't want to have to play the game where you're constantly selling yourself and constantly selling your company. You don't want to have to do all that outbound work because you know what? It's a lot of work, and eventually it's hard not to be spammy and not to feel like that sleazy salesman. What you want is to build a brand, build a presence, get yourself out there in a way where people are attracted to you and they want to do business with you, they want to help you, and they want to believe in you, and ultimately they buy you because they feel that you're a good person and that you're bringing value to them and that you're not greedy. If you're greedy and only thinking about what's on the table for you, well, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get yourself out of obscurity. Or if you do, well, you won't have the best reputation. And ultimately, reputation is everything in this world because multifamily real estate investing and real estate investing at large is actually a very tightly knit community. Lastly, the thing that is of the utmost importance, despite how well you get yourself out there or not, is to always over-deliver. I see a lot of investors making the mistake, especially if you're a syndicator, making the mistake of over-promising to their LPs and under-delivering. I also see a lot of agents and brokers do the exact same mistake with their clients. It's important that you over-deliver on your promises. So, if you know that you can't do that or don't have the tools to do that, well, don't promise too much. And if you do have the tools and you do decide to promise a lot, well, make sure you go that extra mile. And yes, you have to work very hard and you have to be very detail-oriented if you want to make sure that you leave people with that feeling of over-delivering and ultimately of being someone of value and having something of value for them. If you can do all those things, believe me, you will not be living in obscurity very much longer, and there will be deals and passive investors and capital and opportunities coming your way bigger and faster than you can probably even handle right now. I hope I've got you thinking, and I really hope that you get into an action plan as fast as possible. So get out there, start posting on social networks, start going to networking events, start reading about on how to market and brand yourself, and don't forget to deliver as much value as possible and to show your true self. It's never too late and it's never enough. So now is the time. On that note, I hope to see you at the Multifamily Real Estate Week organized by the MREX in the city closest to you in the upcoming months.